Hi, and welcome to Happy Fisherman Adventures.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.
Today's episode is a mix of adventures and different species.
Definitely do not put your boat away in winter. We said that before.
Or ever.
That's right. So there is heaps of King George whiting around St. Leonard's. There is heaps of gummy sharks around. Garfish between Mount Martha and Mornington, all that area. There is actually port and tuna still going. Charters are doing amazing job. And there's barrows at the front. And believe it or not, there's some snapper around too.
Talking about snapper, there is no better way than having Brett Ritz giving us some tips and tricks.
We're going to see Brett's adventure actually a little bit later. So the first video is going to be about catching squid around Mud Island. So basically we're going to show you the location. We're going to show you which side of Mud Island we're actually catching some squid. We're catching up with our friend as well, Charlo. So let's watch the first video. Well, what can I say? There is not a cloud in the sky and the water's just amazing. This time me and Jerry were on the way to Mud Island, where we're gonna catch up with Charlo and his friend, and we're gonna try to get some squid. It is already 11 AM, so some people are already on the way back. But good part about chasing squid, you do not have to get up early in the morning. From Werribee Ramp to our first destination, which was Simon's Channel, it's about 40k, so on the days like this, you get there pretty quick. When we got there, Charlo and his friend already done the damage. They got a beautiful gummy. Here is actually the mark where we chase squid in Simon's Channel. We fish here around 3 to 4 meters depth, and it's very important to assess the ground. You will clearly see the sand and the grass patches. So make sure you drift on top of these grass patches. Here we managed half a dozen squid pretty quick, but then one squid managed to get Jerry. I don't know how they do that and how they aim, but actually it was pretty funny.
I copy.
Then we moved to our second location. Charlo was following us as well, and the second location was on the other side of Mud Island, more precisely between Mud Island and the Mussel Farm. This location is about 6 to 7 meters depth, and I can tell you we basically catch squid here all year around. The best time to target them here is actually a couple hours before the low tide, but sometimes we got them even on slack or high tide. In the meantime, we got a call from Charlo, and they were getting lots and lots of arrow squid. So in no time we actually start getting them as well. Arrow squid is actually not as good eating as calamari, and when you do get one, just be careful how you handle it, because they can actually bite. They can actually be quite aggressive, and they try to get their tentacles around your hand, and they do have a beak like a parrot. That's actually really powerful, and you can actually nip a bit of skin off your finger by all means. Today our best jig was one of those clicks jigs that are actually white with a red head, so somehow that actually done most of the damage. Here you can see how Jerry stays away from that tentacles, because they got like a suction cups and they go around your hand and they grip like crazy, and then basically they bite you. We did stay quite late here, and even when the sun went out, the squid was still going. So a little bit later we actually went to our gummy spot, and we had an offer everything from fresh calamari to salmon to yucca, basically everything. In meantime, flatheads were pinching our bite, and they were quite annoying, to be honest. Also, it wouldn't be Mud Island if you don't get Port Jackson sharks, banjo sharks, and all the other monsters. But just as it got dark, we had something really big that was just peeling our line. We lost it, and I'm glad we did, and after that, that was a good sign for us to pack up and run away from there.
The next video is from our friend Brett Reed.
Definitely a fantastic video on snapper. So you guys gonna see quite a few tips and tricks, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy it.
Port Phillip is a horseshoe-shaped enclosed bay on the central coast of southern Victoria, Australia. The bay opens into Bass Strait via a short narrow channel known as the Rip and is completely surrounded by two of Victoria's largest cities. Geographically, the bay covers 1,930 kilometres and the shores stretch roughly 264 kilometres. Although it is extremely shallow for its size, the deepest portion is only 24 metres and half of the bay is shallower than 8 metres. Launching out of Frankston, today we're targeting Australian snapper. These fish migrate in and out of Port Phillip every year, and through the summer period it is extremely productive. Good morning, boys and girls. Well, it's a bit of a blowy morning. We've just got the sun popping up, strong northerly today, so we're out early because we feel like we'll get an early bite. Baits today are mainly consisting of pilchards. I'm fishing with Ken today. He hasn't been on the snapper yet this year, so I thought I'd get him out. He's just there behind me.
27th, is it?
Yes.
27th of December.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas.
This time of year, a lot of snappers start to leave the bay. Not all the snapper, but some snappers. So I feel you got a better chance down south. But it's been a funny odd year, and yeah, so we'll see how we go today. We've got some pilchards as per normal. You see way out there, there's the old ship. Someone must have been in the shipping channel earlier because we heard a couple of foghorns go off. And we're not going to drive around today. We're going to sit on a spot. We've got to run out tide. And hopefully we're in a good line where the snapper will be using that run out tide to swim with the current back out their heads. There's still a lot of snapper in the bay, but the ones we're targeting today are primarily the ones that are leaving. Is that a nip on that one? Alright, we're just setting up and Kenny's already on it. It's really dark. We've got a northerly.
First light?
First light, yep. And I wanted to get out of here early this morning because we've got a northerly wind. And they normally go on the dark on the northerly, then shut down early. So you're gonna have to do the net yourself, Kenny. It's a beautiful little fish here. I've got the net here. There we go. Beautiful work, Kenny. Get him up. All right, good job, Kenny. That's the first one for the morning. So we've got an 8-rod spread. We've got two Reedies rigs on either side, and then out the back we got the Neld 187s, and that's on the pilchard again. Oh, he's come alive. He's grown a bit.
Yeah, just had some weenies.
See, when they spawn, they're a bit, I don't know, they're a bit sluggish, eh? He did nothing. I thought it was a pinky, and I handed the rod to Kenny because he hasn't caught a fish. Oh, he's caught a fish, but
5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago, but I'll be on the next one if there is a next one. Here he is. Put your light on. He's a good fish.
Well, that's why I wanted the light. I can't see.
All right, you're gonna have to grab that. All right. So there's Kenny's fish. I'm just getting close to him. It's hard to see. It's still pitch black. It's just his camera's really good. And he's a nice little three kegger. Just rebaited the hooks. I think this one's a bit smaller,
Smaller.
right?
I think they're school fish.
Oh, it's still alright. It's still good.
Yeah. Best size to eat.
Just keep an eye on those other rods. think. Sun's still coming up. We're out. Let's lift him in. Oh, he's alright. Few boats coming out now. Off Frankston there. Good area to be in. It's going to be a beautiful morning.
Stinking hot day.
And a stinking hot day. As long as we just keep ticking them over. Bit of patience. How good's the sunset? Sunrise. Still hasn't come up. An early morning, you always want to just get out here, anchor up and fish, get to your spot area, do it standing or whatever you do. And I just like to just anchor and just give it a good hour and a bit for the first light sort of deal. And we know there's fish coming through here, so we're just going to sit here. I'll just run you through the spread we've got. White rod here, paternoster. Then, oh, there's a live buckle. Here, hold that. Film, it's filming. Got a fish, Kenny. This is why we love snapper season, just buckles. Oh, I miss summer fishing, eh? He's a good fish. Just gonna grab the net, get it ready. What a beautiful morning.
The wind's dropped out.
It's gonna be great. I should have brought the whiting rods.
You should have.
I know. Nice little head shakes on the Reed's 187. Here he is. Nice little 4 or 5 kilo fish. Eh? 4 kilos or something. Oh, maybe a bit bigger. Not a fan of this net.
Yeah, that's a bit short, isn't it?
Nah, he's a good fish. I'll just hold him up. Quickly get them. Before I do any camera stuff, I'll quickly get the rods back out, and then we'll get the photo because old mate will have mates. That fella will have. He won't be by himself. And the sun's just coming up, so I believe that was on a pilchard.
Or a silver whiting.
Nah, pilchard.
That's the pilchard
All
one.
on pilchards this morning. I swear after they spawn, the soft baits are the go. We had 1/2 buckle on a silver because he wasn't really chuffed about it. Alright, so let's hold up the fish. We're fishing today, we're fishing in deep water. So he's a beautiful fish. They're coming out good.
Yep.
And not too close, Kenny, it won't be in focus. And so he's got a beautiful, I don't know why there's not 1,000 boats out here. Like, look at this action, it's terrific. So for the next month or so, just fish south. There'll still be lots of fish up north, but I love catching these fellas. Maybe cut up a couple more, please. And we just, when you, this seems obvious, but we've got to run out tide, so everything's going that way. So we chuck the pilchards up current, so by the time they get to the bottom, it'll be out the back where our lines are, because it takes a bit for them to get down. Got a few boats rocking up out the back there. Yeah. What a sunrise.
That mist, it's giving it a different...
Yeah, it's giving it like a winter sunrise, eh? Just beautiful. He's a better fish. What a great morning. Oh, I haven't had Kenny out here for a couple of years. He was one of the original soldiers in the start of the channel some time ago.
Oh, I think that could be.
Just manoeuvre your rod to get your friends out, take them on the snapper. Kenny's, I reckon he's pretty happy at the moment because
It's been a long time coming.
yeah. All right, good job. I think this is our bag, Kenny.
Seems that way, mate.
Good fish.
Time to go in.
Ready?
Have breakfast before 6 o'clock.
Have we got 6?
It would be this one, I think. If he's over 40, it is.
We'll just double check. Might go on the squids. Might turn some snapper rods into a squid rod. I'll see if I got squid jigs. Should have brought the bloody whiting. We would.
Yeah, still use. I reckon my one could be turned into a whiting.
Yeah, so could that one. But we've got to go.
I think your white one could be too, because that seems light enough.
Yeah. Beautiful fish. He's only just hooked. They're semi-keen this morning, like, you know, semi-keen. Look at that back rod's gonna go.
Oh, and so is this one.
That's a better fish.
Didn't that one take?
Yeah, no, I think it might have been a pinky. This is going to be the last snapper video for a while. I'll do one a month or something for the next couple of months, I reckon. And we'll go and try and get something else like kingfish or gummies or something, because I can't just keep doing snapper. I'm gonna have to. Oh, this is on the paternoster, is it?
Yeah.
The old scallop.
What's the run?
Is it? There he is.
It's a nice fish.
He is a nice fish. An old scallopini. Time to ring some people, I think. Look at that. He's fish of the day.
No, I think yours is bigger.
Is it? Oh.
Second biggest.
I think, as much as I want to stay here and catch them, we're not going to, because what happens if you sit there and play catch and release in the deep water, they die of barotrauma, but they die a few days later. You go and do a bit of research online and that's what happens. A bloke once told me, when you're fishing, you got to focus on one fish species. I thought that was the dumbest piece of advice I've ever heard. Time is precious, and learning to utilise the best parts of tide for each individual species. Snapper fishing is really all about timing and when to go. Over the years of fishing Port Phillip Bay, some of my biggest fish have been caught in the summer months. 2019, I caught 8 fish over 8 kilos in January and February. So this year I encourage you to leave the snapper rods in the boat and utilise your time and try and target various species on various different tides.
I reckon it's 10 kilo.
Really?
Yeah, it took like nearly 8 minutes to bring in.
I spoke to you like half an hour ago.
Yeah, and that's when I said I might go out, and I drove to the ramp. My mates picked me up, and we just came here and got 2 45s, and then this horse just came along.
I've just got home from fishing. Hold up the 90 centimetre.
I'll turn this around. So is this Cam? He's going to hold the camera for us.
How you going, man?
G'day, mate. And this.
That is a beast. Look at the nose on it.
Yeah, look at the knife.
Get some wild photos, man, while it's got colour.
Yeah, like that's my hand, and I've got pretty big hands.
And that you can't get it around the tail?
Not one bit, no.
Well done, Deacon, eh? Was it on the 187s or the scallop?
50187s.
You little beauty. There's Deacon's fish.
There it is, boys. So a nice big knob on it, big nose.
What a beautiful fish. And we just weighed it.
8.5.
8.5 kilo. 8.5 kilos.
Lovely fish.
Beautiful. And tell the story, what happened with the leader?
It actually did a big crunch down on the leader, and that's why I use such a heavy leader. Our fish was 60 pound. It bit straight through it and the leader just went snap.
Bang, there you go.
We're going to talk about targeting garfish. A great species to fish for, lots of fun and relatively easy to catch, not only for land-based anglers, but also out in the boat. We only need a couple of key items to fish for these little buggers and have some fun. One is a quill float, or a nice skinny float to work with, some split shot, and some fine gauge hooks. And we're just going to set up a basic float rig. The trick to getting good success on these guys is not having a big bulky float. As soon as these guys will feel that tension, they'll spit that bait and move on. When I'm using quill floats or floats of this style, we weight them up so only just the tip's showing. So as soon as that garfish hits that float, it's under the water and hopefully we've hooked that gar. So tricks, nice light style floats that will push through the water nice and quickly. Fin gauge hooks, so we can penetrate the beak of that gar nice and quickly, and we need to weigh it up with a couple of split shot so we get that nice drop coming through the water. Sometimes when we're gar fishing, we need to get them and keep them excited, and we've talked about it in the past, but burley is essential to that style of fishing, and again, a really fine, what we call misting burley to come through the water. We don't want a big chunky burley for gars, we just need it to be really, really fine and just form like a mist through the water. So using a pollard mix or some of the stimulate pellets that are available, or simply mixing up your own mix, you can get quite creative with it. Bait-wise, we keep that nice and simple. Silverfish, maggots, a little bit of offcuts of tuna, pilchard fillets. They'll eat almost anything on a given day. So just keep it bait nice and small and give that nice fin presentation. They've got a small mouth and they just want to zip in and take that quick slurp and get going again. Sometimes you'll find, especially on the boats and occasionally on the pier as well, the gars that are in closest to you are often the most difficult ones to catch. So there are times there, if we get you to float your float back 7 or 8 metres back, have it set a little bit deeper, the gars will be sitting back there as well, and they generally find they're more responsive to taking that bait. We've found in the past when they're sitting up nice and close at the back of the boat, they can see you and they're really flight insensitive. But those fish that are sitting that little bit further back will often take the bait. And as I said, when we're doing that style, we lengthen that bit of leader so we get that drop coming through the water. Get out there and enjoy some gars. Land-based or out in the boat, great fun to catch, and they're not too bad on the chew as well.
Well, before we go, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you that purchased our t-shirt, the guys that donated on our website, and we really appreciate your help.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and we will see you next time.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.